Cassie just said during the Diddy trial just ruined my day. She said that after she was done with the man that they hired, the man would leave coding on her. And then Diddy would ask for her to come into the next room and remove the coating off of her so that he could be massaged with it. I don't know if I could keep paying attention to this Diddy trial, bro. What Cassie just said during the Diddy...
Hey, listen,
Here are my takeaways from day 2 of the Diddy trial. Today was all about the prosecution's star witness, Cassie Ventura, who's 8.5 months pregnant and who the government is using to prove the charges in the case. Ventura testified that the freak-offs were almost weekly.
Wait, to prove what charges? That he was whooping on her? To prove that he's a freak? What was he? What does this have to do with sex trafficking? This all sounds like stuff that she wanted to do, and I'm not blaming her. Yes, she is the victim because he shouldn't have been putting his hands on her. No, that's uncalled for. But I mean, what does this have to do with like money laundering and all that type of stuff?
Last days, and Combs would give her so many drugs that she often threw up. That's the coercion element of sex trafficking. Ventura also described Combs' many guns and his security guards who would track her and look for her if necessary. That's the force element of sex trafficking. Ventura talked about Combs paying male escorts to have sex with her. That's prostitution. Some of the more graphic details of the freak-offs included a pool of baby oil all over the walls and doors, blood on the sheets because she was forced to have sex during her period, and being urinated on because it turned.
Oh boy. That's disgusting. Sean.
According to Ventura, Combs fantasized about watching her have sex with other men. Combs recorded the freak-offs, and Ventura worried he would blackmail her or leak the videos publicly. Ventura cried in court during parts of her testimony. The prosecution is painting a picture of control where Combs would control every aspect of Ventura's life, including her outfits, her nails, and even her piercings and breast implants. This is to counter the defense's argument that the freak-offs were consensual. Ventura did admit to being insanely jealous though, and I expect the defense to use that and argue that Ventura was also violent in the relationship.
She was insanely jealous of what? Okay.
Ventura's direct examination continues tomorrow, and the big question is, how will she hold up when her cross-examination starts tomorrow?
This is kind of unfair, you know, because women who are like kind of broken, they want broken dudes. Like I was on here before, and she was messing with Ryan Leslie, who I think is like a square dude. He's not a thug like that. And these girls, they be liking these broken dudes. So, let's just keep going.
The graphic details that made Diddy's 3 daughters get up and leave the courtroom twice yesterday. Yesterday was day 1 of the Diddy trial in Manhattan, and witness number 2 was a man named Daniel Phillip, and he is a male escort. He detailed his encounters with Diddy and Cassie, and he talked about the fact that Diddy liked to pleasure himself while watching Daniel and Cassie.
Yeah, you can't fix these dudes. And women, they can't fix these broken guys. They want to, but it's like therapy and or religion, like God, can fix these folk. Outside of that,
doing their thing. This was so graphic, apparently. Diddy's 3 daughters twice got up and left the courtroom. He talked about baby oil, how Diddy wanted him to rub baby oil all over Cassie and Cassie to rub it all over him. Very graphic stuff. Danielle Phillip was actually a stripper before he met Diddy and Cassie and actually started doing S work just for them. Apparently, they paid him anywhere from $700 to $6,000 per encounter. But if he didn't perform well enough up to Diddy's standards, he wouldn't get paid at all. And he detailed the fact that Diddy liked to watch and kind of direct his activity, Danielle's activity with Cassie while sitting in the corner himself. He also alleged that he saw multiple violent encounters between Diddy and Cassie. One time, Diddy asked Cassie to come into the...
So Diddy's a duck. With a P, remove the, he's a duck. Remove the D and add a, y'all know what it is.
The room. Cassie said, hold up, I have something on my laptop, I'm going to close it out. Diddy went nuts, dragged Cassie into a hotel room, shut the door, and Danielle Phillip said that he heard slapping and hitting, and basically Diddy was like, if I say to come here, you come here. Prosecutor Maureen Comey did ask Phillip why he didn't call the police when he heard Cassie being abused, and he said he was petrified for his life. Diddy had security, and he knew that Diddy was powerful and that he could make him go away. Can't imagine being in the courtroom and hearing these crazy details about your father. I can see why they left. Today for Diddy.
Watch yourself in the front.
Isn't Fine a Jewish last name?
I was in the courtroom as Cassie was testifying, so let me tell you guys everything that you didn't see or may have not heard, because it's a lot. I will say the most damning part of her testimony for me is when she describes a freak-off where Diddy and another man, an escort, are standing on top of her while she is on the right-hand side of the court. Seated is her husband, Alex Fine. On the left-hand side, Diddy's 6 out of 7 kids are sitting in the courtroom as Cassie is describing having weekly freak-offs for years that would last 2, 3, one lasted up to 4 days. She talked about damaging.
How many of us remember the time when 50 Cent was talking about getting a videotape for of one of Diddy's girls doing something? Because that was when thisis50.com, and when that website was like kind of popping like that, it was like going against World Star hip hop. And that Piff Heavy was going against them sites. Pardon me. 50 was on the interviews talking to somebody. Was on the phone talking to somebody saying somebody sent him a videotape, because that's what people do. They'll send me. This is 50 talking. They'll send me the tape. You know, that's when he was super heavy, going hard against Rick Ross. Anybody remember that? Y'all let me know if y'all remember that. And he said he called P. Diddy and was like, yo, listen, somebody gave me this tape. And all 50 was saying was Shorty. He was kind of, you know how 50, he'll talk without saying nothing. He'll be like, yeah, you know, because then, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to kind of know what it's, but I understand it though now. And you'd be like, 50, what the fuck are you talking about? Would you just, I guess this code of the streets, no snitching and all. So this is what 50 was saying on the phone to the person he's talking to. I called Dylan like, yo, Puff, somebody sent me a tape with old girl getting her world blown out. He said Puff was like, word? Oh, man. Where you get it from, though? Word? The way 50 was talking, like, Puff wasn't even surprised. So, I think there is some truth to this stuff. It might be 100% true. I think at the very least there is some truth to it. There's some. They were all there. That's why. You saying 50 was there too? You never know with these dudes, man. You never know.
Hotel room so bad in one instance that they had to pay such a hefty fee because the hotel told them that they needed to completely redecorate the room after a freak off. After a freak off, there would be blood, urine, and lots of baby oil. There was so much baby oil. There was also so much baby oil talk to the point where the judge at one point told prosecutors, wrap it up. But before we even got there, a very pregnant Cassie was called to the stand. She was wearing a tight brown turtleneck dress that was hugging her baby bump. When she sat down, you could tell she was nervous. And if you couldn't, you quickly picked up on it, because once she started talking, you noticed that she paused a lot. She would sigh heavily before she answered a question. One of those moments was when she explained to the court that a year into their relationship, that Diddy had approached her with this fantasy that he had. He called it voyeurism, where he wanted to see her have sex with another man, later referred to as freak-offs. She said her stomach dropped.
Bro, that's not voyeurism, man. I mean, as a connoisseur, voyeurism is when you just watching people. You're not watching your wife get... Come on now. That's something else. That's the duck with the you know what I'm saying? That's not Diddy. You come on. Stop, man. These dudes is professional horn dogs. I'm just a normal horn dog. These niggas is the pros.
She was 22 years old. She described herself as very naive and a people pleaser. She said the only reason that she agreed to it is because she knew it would make him happy, and she was afraid what would happen if she said no. That's also around.
I don't think that's a lie. I think that's true. I think, our girls always, they want to, if the girl likes you, she wants to make you happy. And you know what I'm saying? So I don't think that part's a lie. I think after she was with him, she was like, hold up, this dude is kind of crazy. How do I get away? But then all of the money seduces you. The the bodyguards, the $40,000 here, just go take the credit card, whatever, babe. That like kind of seduces you. You know, some of these hoes you could seduce them with $40. Think what $40,000 would do to a chick.
Time she says that he started to get abusive. Most of her testimony today was spent on talking about these freak-offs, the different escorts that they would use, the different hotels that they would use. She said that she would find escorts off of Craigslist and this escort service called Cowboys for Angels. And to describe them, they weren't the most attractive men, right? They were very average looking. Some of them weren't even conventionally attractive. One thing they had in common is most of them were black because Diddy preferred for her black men with a big D, she said. At one point, Cassie broke down in tears when the prosecutor asked her, why didn't you leave? If the freak-offs, as you explained, were so disgusting and humiliating, why?
I'll tell you, because he didn't put it on her like that right away. He wined her, he dined her, he probably had regular, normal relations with her, and then he snuck it up on her. You know, he explained it to her in such a way that it probably seemed like it wasn't even all that bad. And then, like, after the first time she did it, and she was like, man, I don't really know if I really like that. He was like, shut up, bitch, we doing it again. And she was like, oh, wait I'm playing with you, baby. Here, go take the credit card. There's $400,000 on there. It's very seductive, man. Probably. I'm not saying I got, experience, but man, if I were a mental, emotional, verbal abuser, like my country is, that's probably what I would do. I hope everybody knows that's what the COVID payments was. That was them saying, come on, you don't want to leave. Here go $1,500. Don't worry about it. You could. That's not what happened. That's okay. My bad. Sorry. That's
not leave. And she started crying and said that she was very deeply in love, and this was the only alone time that she could get with Diddy. And it got to a
See, we are very in love with the United States. We love it. They make songs about the United States. I love LA. We love it. Remember that song? You don't want to leave Los Angeles, right? Everything's bigger in Texas. You don't want to leave Texas. I love New York. You don't want to leave New York. Can't you understand? I'm talking to my international people. What about, what is that? You don't want to leave London? You love the UK, don't you? Works the same way with people.
Where this was kind of the only emotional connection that she was getting from this man that she was dating. So much more that I'll cover in another video, including his incessant phone calls, him tracking her down with his security, and her never being able to escape him. In the courtroom is Cassie.
Damn, look at that artist rendition. He or she is not that good of an artist. He made this nigga look like a straight demon.
What Cassie just said during the Diddy trial just ruined my day. She said that after she was done with the man that they hired, the man would leave coding on her. And
no,
Diddy, your dad gonna walk, bro. They ain't talking about nothing in court. Yes, sir. Young Diddy, your daddy looking like he gonna walk out of there, bro.
First, my name is Michael. Stop calling me Young Diddy. What's wrong with you? That's first. Second, thanks for the vote of confidence. Let's go to a different video. That's the first thing I said to this. Yo, why you keep calling me that, man? What's wrong with you? Wait. Theo Von, do what? Theo Von grabs fan by throat at Nashville bar. Uh-oh.
Jason, drop the
Man, you don't know what he said to Theo Von. He might have said, hey, man, I heard about the Diddy trial. How about I pay you to sleep with my girl? Yeah, she's right over there. He was like, man, get away from me, man. You never know.
Hey, pretty one.
Ready to charge into history?
Okay, understand. We just freestyling right here, so I wasn't looking for that. That just came up. And let me see right quick.
Ready to charge in.
That's enough of that, fellas. Now let's just see what else TikTok throws at us.
To history? Let's meet George Patton. Patton wasn't just any general, he was a battlefield legend, known for his fiery personality and...
Let me say this about this. AI is getting out of control, man. All of this is AI. Wow.
relentless drive. Patton led his troops with unmatched courage, from the North African deserts to the battlefields of...
Alright, that's enough. Too boring.
Man boobs? Let me show you how to get rid of them.
Boring.
No, you guys aren't on timeout right now.
She better have like a quarter of an arm. Like her wrist and hand better be
See,
chopped
I
off.
wouldn't just like do stop racing. I would do.
Hey, Brown fans, I'm back. Check this out.
Once upon a fucking time, there was a...
The moment y'all been waiting for.
Damn.
They got her.
She carrying you. Yo, free. Yo, he's carrying her like a book bag.
Is that in New York? Probably.
Does this derive from the terms they use in Baltimore with the saying too?
You know what I'm saying? I just came through and changed the game, dude. It's a new Smithsonian, it's a new beginning, Big Bipple.
Most overrated play.
Boring. This is gonna be boring too. Well, where is it? Boring.
Ashanti is the biggest fake out in R&B music history. Ashanti was a cheat code. That's all she was.
I can drop after this. I've been on here for a minute.
In 1929 in Chicago, people kept mysteriously dying inside their homes. It took 15 deaths for the authorities to realize that these people were getting killed by their fridges. Because fridges back then were no longer just boxes of ice.
That girl! Don't do that! Oh. That girl! Don't do that! Oh.
That's in Houston? Wow. Just when you thought Florida was the craziest place in America.
Everything for my...
Yo, welcome back to WTFX, where true horror and the unexplained collide. Okay. If you're into real encounters, twisted legends, and stories that stay in your head long after midnight, smash that like, subscribe, and let's get into it. Because this next one is Brazil's most terrifying alien case. In 1996, 3 girls in a small city in Brazil walked home past an empty lot.
It's hard to pay attention, but I believe you. I'm gonna come back to it though.
So Candace Owens was on the Jason Lee show, and she got asked about Kanye. And the answer she gave, nobody was expecting. Check out this clip.
Yeah.
I will always love Ye. I will always defend him because I think he did one of the bravest things in speaking about what happened to him, and the questions were never answered about what Harley Passionik did to him that night. And I think it's what was done to Britney Spears based on my readings of MK Ultra program, which has never been stopped. I think Harley Passionik it's extremely problematic, and he's literally telling you what happened to him and no one's listening. And everyone's like, he's gone crazy. They drugged me against my will, and when you read those experiments of how they could literally give somebody a mental disorder via a cocktail of drugs, LA becomes very scary.
Who was that? I didn't hear.
Harley Passionik, the trainer that trains all the stars that keep dying in baths.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Aaron Carter, when he reached out to Kanye, and when Kanye said Harley Passionik did this, Aaron Carter tweeted at Kanye and said, we should talk, and then that was his last tweet.
So she brought up Hollywood trainer Harley Pasternak, who was also a trainer for Mac Miller, who was also a trainer for Brittany Murphy. Similar unalive events, but the crazy thing is what he texted Kanye. He texted him saying that they can sit down and Kanye cannot cuss, and they were talking facts, and he doesn't want to hear what somebody else told Kanye. And the second option was for Kanye to get institutionalized. And he said he would send Kanye to zombie land, and play date with the kids would never be the same.
I found out that my trainer was a MK Ultra Canadian intelligence.
He worked in.
Well, he was a trainer. Was he like your gym trainer, or was he your MK Ultra trainer? Is what I would want to know if we were to dive deeper into that.
Like restaurants that I should eat from, or like food that I.
This is the dark and twisted story of how the private equity empire built by the late owner of the San Diego Padres, Pete Seidler, drove a small business owner into a forced abortion, allegedly. Meet Tiffany Cianci, the former owner of the Little Gym, which teaches kids things through movement. Now, back a few years ago, the Little Gym was acquired by a company called Unleash Brands. And Unleash Brands is owned by Seidler Equity Partners, a private equity firm, which was co-founded by the late Pete Seidler, who owned the San Diego Padres.
I just gotta say, some of this stuff, it don't be creepy. It just got the traditional creepy music. This guy, he be having creepy stuff. Let's see what else we can find on his page that might be creepy. Let's see, don't be a... Okay. We don't want to talk about my guy, the orange guy. Our guy, the orange guy. We won't talk about him. Truth about... I don't know. This stuff is probably not that creepy.
Now, when Unleash Brands took over...
He receives a devastating call while he's at work. He is so angry and frustrated about this call that he gets into his car, drives 90 miles from Alabama to Pensacola, Florida, to unalive the mother of his 2-year-old child at Home Depot. And guess who told him to do this? His mother. But why? Let's find out right now. He receives a...
I was going to say the devil. It told him to do it. But let's see. Oh, I'm following this lady. Let's see what else she got on here.
It was the day after Labor Day. 2 parents are found shot and deceased. One as they came out the shower and the other one while they slept. However, the identity of the shooter will shock you. Who was it? Let's find out right now.
Okay. I would find out, but...
He receives a devastating...
For the sake of everybody in here, I don't want to bore y'all. And this is probably only interesting to me, you know, because her boobs are like kind of popping out of her shirt. Other than that, I don't know if it's that exciting. Probably, maybe, but who knows?
They
were drones controlled by UAPs, larger UAPs and UFOs. Holy smokes, man. I don't think so now. What the heck just was that? You see that? That just got brighter than anything. Oh my gosh.
Yo, are we still following orbs? Because I want to know who named them Dior bags. Whose idea was that? It's like when people try to make things viral, they don't go viral. I'm really starting to think that this whole viral nonsense is orchestrated by the powers that be. I don't think anybody really goes viral on their own. I got a couple of videos that went viral. They demonetized my channel. Absolutely. Demonetized the channel when it went viral. But that could just be a conspiracy theory. I don't think people naturally go viral on their own. I gotta ask, how you doing, brother? I mean, you know, this is, for me, it's like a diary. You know, kind of like comedians. When they go on stage, they getting stuff off their chest. It just so happens that they're making you laugh. They're turning their trauma into everybody else's entertainment. So that's kind of what I'm doing, I guess. I've got that kind of comedic mind. But I'm like too lazy. Not too lazy. I'm not. I dropped out in the 8th grade. I don't like to write. I don't like to write. So I don't like to write jokes. I don't like to write anything, honestly. And I wasn't really paying attention when they were teaching anybody how to type. So it's like, let me just come up here and just do this YouTube stuff and kind of, you know, get my trauma like off my mind. It's like mental vomiting, if you will. So, but thanks for asking about me, Jay Rebel. But are we paying attention to orbs anymore? Is that even exciting? Or, because I don't know. It's like every day, every other day, every week, it's like a new conspiracy, something new your country is doing, and that lasts for like a few weeks, and then they switch to something else. I mean, like how people use music. Yeah, it's exactly like that.
Have you guys ever considered that the devil might be amongst us? And I don't just mean spiritually.
Yes, I think we all have. Yes, some of us think the devil is our goddamn wife. Some of us.
Have you guys ever? What do you guys think?
I think it's no crazier than UK officials letting their citizens know we're putting up 41 million pounds to figure out how we can block out the sun. I mean, I remember that being a crazy Simpsons episode, I think in the 90s, or either the late 90s or the early 2000s. You guys remember that? And that was, I think it was the late 90s, and that was all in a plot to figure out who shot Mr. Burns. Remember that was like a 2-part episode, and they was like giving a whole bunch of money if you knew who shot Mr. Burns. It was Maggie, but nobody even thought that. So I don't think any of this stuff that he's talking about is as crazy or crazier than the UK saying that. That was just a couple of weeks, I think, that they said, a couple of weeks ago they said that. And then going back to the 90s when that episode being on, that was 30 years I was on television. I don't think that is any crazier than people saying, well, they got to tell you what they're going to do because of their astrological, I don't know, what's that thing called? Simpsons writers are Freemasons. And then that's not crazier than Freemasonry being true and all of the stuff that they follow being true, but then they covered it up, but then they have the power to cover. None of it is crazy anymore. It's like, no, you're not insane. You're not. You're not. It's not crazy, bro. It's another rabbit hole to go down. And I can go down it with you guys if it's entertaining. You know, if it doesn't entertain y'all, I'll, maybe I can find some nice boobs on here. Maybe that'll entertain y'all.
Yes, he does.
Can someone please explain to me why women insist on playing sports designed for men and then become outraged when no one wants to watch them clumsily?
What, sports designed for men? Wait, let me see. What?
Can someone please explain to me why women insist on playing sports designed for men and then...
Oh, why women insist on playing sports designed for men. Okay.
Become outraged when no one wants to watch them clumsily play? I think we can all agree. Women need a sport that leverages their...
I think because... It's just my thought. I think because these women, they actually want other women. Right. They, like the WNBA girls, some of those girls like basketball because their dad got them into it. They're just athletic. They had a bunch of brothers. Some of them. I think a lot of them, they want other women. And the only way they're going to get other, and I'm not saying this is creepy. I'm just saying, I think the creepy part is the conspiracy to make you think, no, that's not what's happening. That's the part. And I think the only way, an easier way for these women to get women, at least in their opinion, is to have a sport where women will come and watch them play. I think. Unfortunately, women don't like that. Like, women sweating doesn't make women hot. Men sweating makes women hot, which is... Because a sweaty woman doesn't make us men hot. I mean, go get in the shower, bitch. Gross. I don't know. You guys tell me, leave it in the comments. It's just, it could be. It could not be. What do I know?
Their natural abilities. There needs to be...
If you're like me and you start sweating the second you step outside, this is about to be your new best...
Where do I live that is that hot? That I've got an air conditioner on my belt loop? I don't know.
Guess what I just heard? Court did break for a very specific...
Bitch, why are you whispering? Just tell us. Are you not supposed to be using a phone? What's happening?
Reason.
Where is it? Oh, okay, maybe I picked it up and used it right away.
I'm 29 years old and had a bad car wreck, and I'm actually getting a settlement for $7 million.
Goodness. What happened, Zachary?
Dang.
I got hit by an 18-wheeler. I was paralyzed from the waist down for 3 days. But I am walking now, had to have emergency back surgery. And
there's probably a sample in there somewhere. Maybe I can slow it down and like make it sound creepy or something. I can't do it here, but it could be. Maybe if I like showed a liminal space, like a back room with that music and had the music like sounding warped, you know, like the record was warped, maybe that might be a little bit eerie, possibly. We'll have to see. Tune in when I actually turn it into something.
Did you know that your last name is related to the grades that you get in college?
Yeah, that's from Japan. Japanese smooth grooves from the 1980s. Yeah, I think the back rooms, that whole concept comes from the 1980s. Because none of that stuff looks like it's from like the 70s or the 60s. It does look like analog horror. That's like the 80s kind of stuff. Like VHS, that was in the 80s. So, yeah, this might be something.
Did you know...
What does that say down there? Jury selection for Sean Diddy Combs' trial kicked off on Monday the 5th. Today's the 15th. That's 10 days ago.
What if I told you that a boy vanished into thin air and nearly 40 years later, no one knows why?
This is AI. AI is out of control. This is AI.
Welcome back to WTFX, where truth is stranger than fiction. Today, we dive into the chilling disappearance of Marco.
That's why I couldn't pay attention to that black dude with the eraser head. He was probably AI too. They try to trick me and use a black dude. They try to use my racism against me. That's diabolical. But this is AI.
Aurelio
And this is why they hate blacks in America so much. The white.
Jesus Christ. I don't care about, I swear, man. Ugh. Jesus Christ.
And he was essentially talking about.
I had it all under control though.
Okay, people, back from vacation, back with the bullshit.
No.
Hollow Earth is a part of flat Earth. Well, biblical flat Earth. No actual flat earther believes in the pancake in space. This is our biblical realm, which includes Sheol. This is my favorite Bible app, Haven. I love it because I can ask it literally anything. It'll be honest too. If there's no verses, it's gonna tell you. First one is Genesis 6:4. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days. When you look up the translations for this, it can equally say in the earth. Ezekiel 26:20. I will bring you down with those who go down to the pit, to the people of long ago. I will make you dwell in the earth below.
That's a very good point. J Rebel says there's so much division on these platforms. How about it, man?
This poem isn't about Diddy.
Who sampled that? Y'all know? This is going to get cut out when I go back and put this up. But for those of y'all right now, who sampled this?
This poem isn't about.
I know, which is why I'm following this person. I love samples and old music and all. I like a lot of music anyway, or like all kinds, all genres. But who sampled this? Anybody know? I know Q-Tip sampled it for something. I want to say something on Mobb Deep's album. Let's say with the guys in How Can You Hate Hip Hop? Q-Tip, yeah, he produced it. He sampled it. But for what? That was probably Drink the Pain Away? Is that what? On the Infamous, right? On the Infamous. That's Mobb Deep's album. I knew it sounded familiar. Let's play it again right quick. Also, shout out to Q-Tip for popularizing the 12-second sample. Nobody ever talks about that. I wonder why. Well, like Electric Relaxation is a 12-second sample. So was Lyrics to Go. That's a 12-second loop. And so is this. It's a 12-second loop. It doesn't play that whole it doesn't play the whole thing. It's only 12 seconds. Coming up.
Inizia constantly this.
Give me that stuff, that funk, that sweet, that funky stuff. Give it to me. Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
No, these aren't songs that sound like Neptunes and Pharrell used, allegedly. That's the thing. Pharrell knows how to play instruments. So he, like, what do they call it? Interpolation. So he just played this stuff back. Kind of flipped it a little bit. But he actually used this stuff.
Oh! I feel like busting loose. Busting loose. Cause I feel like busting loose. And I feel like touching you.
That's one I didn't know. I didn't know that Pharrell got that from that. So that's interesting.
Sexy.
From the CEO to across the seas, I'm guaranteed to make everybody bounce with me. I know I may be young, but that's right, pleased to meet you. I still won't tell you my name. Don't you believe in mystery? Did you wanna play my game?
Come on, excuse me, bitch, what's your name? Couple dollars ain't it, so what's your game? No factors, I'm getting cash, don't dance.
Go to Cedar, stash in a dash, hold two heaters, block out, put holes through beaters, ghetto fast, throw through cheese.
I didn't know that. I definitely didn't know that. It was like, so it's 3 so far. All of those other ones I knew. But I didn't know this was Fabulous. I didn't know the White Horse one. And there was another one I didn't know.
A man with his manager Chris and the label the jam still flossing, showing your rocks. Ain't you dudes heard Grammy man?
I don't think that Pharrell got the beat from there, but that's definitely Nori borrowing that flow when he say 5,000.
Looking at the ladies, all of them flocking at you from the corner of my eyes, checking out your hips, lips, tips, and your thighs.
Who's this? I did not know that all of these years. I never heard this song, that's why I didn't know that. But once I heard Usher say that, I knew exactly where it came from.
Wouldn't that be weird? Oh yeah.
That's Biggie. We know that. Grab you if you love hip hop. I don't know why they do sped them all up. I don't know. I like samples. I mean, I'm one of these hip hop people. Usher sounded like a preteen. We know what that is. First of all, you ever like something and you don't mean to like it? I didn't mean to like that. I meant to pause it and talk to y'all for a second.
Give it to me. Give me that stuff, that funk, that sweet, that funky stuff.
This is, now he brought it back to the beginning. This is from Jay-Z. Well, not, it's from Jay-Z, but this is where, Pharrell and them got it from.
Give it to me. Give me that funk, that sweet, that nasty, that gushy stuff.
Oh, it went back. Oh, okay. Y'all Gen X people had stuff to reference us. Gen Y, aka millennials, don't really have much before Tupac and Biggie for reference. Yeah, It is what it is. Shout out to Leica, MEW.F.O. What's up? Thanks for tuning in. Yo, shout out to the people who's like, I'm old. Listen, there is knowledge and blessings in being old, because you could have died young. You know? You got a lot of experience. I tell people I'm 18 with 30 years of experience. You know, 18-year-old kid, he don't got as much experience as I got. There's a such thing as an old fool. I'm not one of them, though.